thank you to everyone who joined us and for all your feedback on the webinar on Friday. That was really overwhelmingly positive, and we really appreciate all that. We really want to be here to support you through this. Obviously, as you're no doubt aware, things have moved a long way since Friday, just a short time. So we did want to put together a quick video just to update you on all the things that have changed. So a couple of things we need to cover off on Phil, an update on the government stimulus measures available, and our Quantum Advisory's 5-point plan to get through this.
Good.
Yeah. So for business, there's some changes.
One of the major changes announced by the government is in relation to the PAYG withholding the cash flow incentive that was offered to employers. Previously that was $25,000. They've now increased that to $50,000 for the 2020 year, plus an additional $50,000 for the 2021 year. So that's an outstanding improvement. Another change was that the minimum previously was $2,000. So to any employer, so you might not even be withholding any PAYG, you'd still be eligible for that $10,000 if you had wages paid in your May.
Yeah, so minimum was $2,000, now we're up to $10,000. In addition to the minimum payment of $10,000 in the 2020 year, I understand there's an additional minimum payment of $10,000 for the 2021 financial year, which will be paid in September or October after September BAS next year. Another key measure they announced was the temporary relief for financially distressed businesses. So Phil, this one was all around insolvency. So hopefully we're not going there, and hopefully it's not going to really help with our cash flow or anything, but it does give us some protection to directors of companies and trustees of trusts that you can continue to effectively trade insolvent for the next 6 months without penalties that normally apply as people go through this. That's sort of some understanding that there might need to be some flexibility there to get people through some hard times.
Yeah, we've never had a client go bankrupt, and it's something which we never want to happen.
Absolutely.
So if anyone was kind of ever feeling that they're down that track, contact us ahead, and we'd put in place proactive measures to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
One of the other announcements was the instant asset write-off and also the accelerated depreciation. There's been no change with either of these measures, just to clarify that for our clients.
So they're still sitting at $150,000 instant asset write-off cap, and that's for businesses with turnover up to $500 million. And the accelerated depreciation rules, which was an extra 50% depreciation in the first year for all asset purchases, regardless of turnover, also unchanged over the weekend. So another key area that changed, the federal government has tried to make more credit available to small businesses. They've done this a couple of ways. First of all, the most significant way, and hopefully the way that will benefit a lot of businesses that we're talking to, is through guaranteeing small business loans. So the federal government said they'll guarantee 50% of business loans up to $250,000 to small and medium businesses. The loans can be for a period of up to 3 months, and and then we'll go with a 6-month repayment-free period. Basically, they'll be offered by the major banks. We're still waiting to see exactly how that's rolled out and when, but they'll be offered by the major banks, and basically by guaranteeing it, it'll just make credit more available. One of the key components that came out from the media release about this was that to qualify for this scheme, banks will have to have a credit assessment criteria that looks at the business as a whole in terms of its trading history and makes an allowance for the fact that it might be going through hard times at the moment. So this is a fairly proactive measure, which again is trying to prop up businesses to recognise that this might be a hard time, and hopefully a mechanism to get some money into business in the short term.
Yep, that's good.
They've also, as part of that, given an exemption from the responsible lending obligations. So ordinarily banks have to meet a criteria and show that they've met the responsible lending criteria, which makes it a lot harder for them to give you money even if they want to. So that's been waived for a period of 6 months up to 30 September. So banks are able to make just a flat credit assessment, knowing they've got a 50% government guarantee, and hopefully issue loans that they might not have otherwise. On top of that, there's the $105 billion being injected into the economy by the RBA, so the banks have some funds to lend.
Yep.
So I think the combination of those three measures, Phil, would you say, is just about getting money straight out into the economy right now?
Yeah, it's about $186 billion, I think, in total.
That's right. We won't go through all the changes for individuals and all in the stimulus package, because a lot aren't relevant to our clients and their business, but feel free to reach out if you want any information on others we're not covering. The key ones, the income support that was announced, so New Start, which is traditionally, the main safety net. It's been effectively doubled by adding a coronavirus supplement with $550 a fortnight. So
you don't have to get the virus to get it either.
You don't have to get the virus to get it, Phil. So Essentially, the dole's been doubled in effect, so it should give a safety net for people who find themselves unemployed now, and also a prop up to the economy that people should still have some money to spend. They've also waived the waiting period for New Start, so ordinarily you'd have to qualify a waiting period of so many weeks before you got your payments. That's been waived. It'll be 1 week and you'll get paid. Key thing here, it's now available to sole traders. So if you're a sole trader and your income has decreased dramatically as a result of the downturn, you're eligible to apply for New Start. You don't have to look for work or be in education. Trying to maintain your business will meet your mutual obligations, and you can access New Start now.
Yeah, I think it's just a 20% reduction in turnover.
Yeah. There's still an income and assets test in place, but essentially that's right.
Yeah.
There's also an additional $750 payment been announced. So in the first stimulus package, the government announced that we're going to pay $750 to every person who was on a pension or family tax benefit. It's going to pay a second payment announced on the weekend in July. So the first one in April, the second one in July, and those payments should have the objective of putting more money in the economy as well. A reduction in superannuation drawdown rates. So if anyone with a superannuation balance who's in pension phase, that is, you're effectively retired, you're required to draw down a minimum pension every year. At the moment, it's not a great time to be selling shares and drawing down to pay a pension that you have to draw down. So the government's halved your requirement to draw down, so you don't have to take it if you don't want to. The upside of that, apart from the fact that you don't have to sell shares in a bad climate, is that if you're someone who wants to keep your balance in super, you've got the opportunity not to take as much and keep more of your money in that tax-free environment. And also they've announced early access to superannuation benefits for anyone affected by this. So if you've lost your job, had your hours significantly reduced, if you're a sole trader again with a 20% reduction in turnover, you're able to access up to $10,000 of your superannuation tax-free this financial year, and the same again next financial year, potentially another $10,000 tax-free. So for anyone in real distress, that is an option as well. And I understand, Phil, as well, that the Victorian government has finally announced its own stimulus package.
Yes, a little behind the other states, but they've finally come on board. There's, like the other states, it's based around the payroll tax. So they're going to start refunding payroll tax payments to small and medium businesses, that is businesses with a turnover of less than $3 million per annum. And they're going to be starting the refunds just within the next few weeks, apparently. It's part of their $1.7 billion stimulus package. In addition to refunding the payroll tax for the 2020 financial year, they're also going to enable businesses to defer the July, August and September payroll tax until 21st of January 2021. So
it's actually
something else to help.
It's actually a huge help for Victorian businesses.
Yes.
They've done pretty well at that, even had to wait. Look, this is a difficult time for many of our clients. It's a difficult time for us as a business and as a community. We do want to be partners with you on this journey. We want to do whatever we possibly can to support you. First of all, please keep in touch as this unfolds. I'm talking to clients every day. Things are moving so quickly. We want to be there to support you. We just need to know what's happening for you and your business. So if any time there's a challenge, please don't hesitate to reach out. If things are changing and we don't have the latest information, we need to know. We have put together a 5-point plan to try and combat this crisis with you. First of all, we've put together a dedicated COVID-19 support team within our own office here. So we've freed up some resources from other areas. We've got some of our expert senior staff ready to respond to challenges that arise. We've also want to help you with the government assistance support. So we're here for you in any of your queries, any applications that have to be made, any help you need around accessing this government support. We'll work through that with you. We're also doing some business continuity planning, as we mentioned in our webinar last week. It's a process which will address critical business priorities and provide a clear action plan to maintain the agility and help ensure your business viability into the future beyond this crisis. Even it's a good thing to do just to make sure that you understand the agility of your organisation, how quickly you can move when you're challenged. But we want to make sure that we don't leave anyone behind during this time. 4, we do have some financial hardship support. So we're analysing a range of fee relief measures for small business clients facing severe financial hardship. It might include deferrals, and we're also offering discounted services around forecasting and continuity planning. Any of that will obviously be prioritised based on the impact on your business and your financial need. Finally, we're putting together a lot of tools and training which will make available to you as we roll them out. So there'll be things around cash flow planning, forecasting, working capital management.
Yep, that's very good. No, we're here to support, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'd encourage businesses to stay positive, be proactive, take the initiative, and grab every opportunity you can.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks.